Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the football podcast. We've got football games incoming, going through last week's games, seeing who's winning at the moment, seeing who's maybe not winning as such. All the football news, all the football goss, everything you could possibly want from a football podcast coming your way fast. Before we start, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave reviews where you can leave reviews. Obviously, if you like the football, you might know someone who likes the football. And if they like the football, they might like this podcast. So maybe just slide it in their direction. Just say, here, check this out. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, the football podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're back again with your weekly CookieCast podcast network football fix. We've got everything at Middlesbrough, Hull, and Nottingham Forest coming your way. Not just me, Mezzers, Woodmansey, and more are joining me. How are we this week, fellas?
Let's go with that.
So that's Stu's approach. I'm in a similar boat. But I think that we had to actually apply for more space on YouTube to be able to fit in the width of Matt's grin, which we will go to as we discuss the first game of week 13, which saw Liverpool taking on Nottingham Forest. And oh my.
Well, yeah, considering I was absolutely convinced that we'd go there and post international break, Liverpool on a bad run. You know, the general rule is if our teams have been, if the team that we're playing against has been on a bad run, or they have a player that's been on a bad run, then we're going to get absolutely bollocks, as it were. But unfortunately, what might mean is if the team's on a bad run and they have a player on a bad run, maybe that equals each other out, because apparently not. Kind of listening to the commentary, Liverpool started well. I think Forest kind of played a similar kind of tactic as last season of like let Liverpool have the ball, let them play, and then kind of go on the attack. And yeah, it kind of worked pretty well. So yeah, kind of lead up to the Forest first goal. Liverpool played the ball in off a corner, I think, or something. And it was cleared out by Forest. Played up to Jesus, who played quite a heavy ball through for Endoy, but Conte just kind of knocked it out for a corner, which was quite unusual. Resulting corner taken by Elliot Anderson, kind of flicked on. Murillo took the ball down, smashed it in the back of the net. Had a bit of a stop for VAR because, of course, they had to have a whinge about it. But Endoy was in an offside position. If you kind of look at the internet and see the variety of Liverpool kind of opinions, apparently he was in the eye line of the ball. I'm like, no, the picture shows that he can definitely see the ball being hit by Murillo and definitely watch it being stuck into the back right-hand corner of his net. 1-0 to Forest. Not long after that, a really good passage play for Forest again, crossed in, and Jesus brought the ball down, and it hit this mythical kind of spot that sometimes referees decide is handball and sometimes referees don't handball, and this kind of that your sleeve that, you know, listen, at the end of the day, I didn't come up with this rule because I think it's bollocks, because forgive me, your arm is in your sleeve. Like last time, I didn't check, my chest wasn't in there, or something's gone really weird if people's chests are in their sleeves now. But of course, the sleeve now counts as part of the chest, but it didn't on Saturday when it definitely hit Jesus on the sleeve and he stuck it in the back of the net. But after the referee, who was stood behind him and couldn't see it, didn't give it, and the linesman, who was stood the other side of the pitch, blocked by a couple of players, also didn't give it. But Liverpool had a whinge about it, and he had a little 7-second think about it, and then gave handball so that VAR could agree with him that it was handball. So, yeah, Forest probably should have been 2-0 up from that one for me, but they weren't. Luckily, it didn't come to bite them on the backside, because within the first minute or so of kickoff in the second half, the ball was played around. There's a lot of kind of nice, intricate interplay on the left-hand side of the Forest's attack, to which then Nico Williams found himself to the byline. Nice cut back, and Savona came in to stick one in the back of the net for second or third goal in recent. The headlines have gone to Gibbs White because he's in a rich vein of scoring, but Savona seems to have got 2 or 3 as well recently, and quite a tidy finish. But then, so around the hour mark, Liverpool made a change to go a bit more attacking. They put Gravenbach in defence and brought on more attackers, I think. And shockingly, surprisingly for Sean Dyche, because you wouldn't expect this, he also went attacking. So he brought on Amari Hutchinson, who continued his rich vein of form. Forest won a free kick just inside Liverpool's half. Liverpool completely switched off because Murillo pinged it out to Hutchinson, who took on the left back, cut in, had a really good shot, probably deserved to score himself, but the ball ricocheted out and Morgan Gibbs-White tucked it in the back of the net. And apparently from there, listening to the commentary, it was pretty easy sledding for Forest to see out the game from there. After 55 years of not winning at Anfield, we've now won 2 on the bounce at Anfield, and became I've got a load of stats. We're the last club to stop Liverpool from scoring at home was Forest a year ago, and that was Forest's 100th Premier League win. All right, so it's taken us however many years to do it, so it's actually 12,151 days since their first win in the Premier League to their 100th. Any guess who that was against?
The first win?
The first win.
It's going to be Borough, isn't it?
No.
Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
It was the first game on Sky. It was the first televised game on Sky. So August the 16th, 1992. I was 10. It's taken me till I'm 43 for Forest to get 100 Premier League wins. So yes, just a casual 30 odd years in between the kind of thing. So I'm sure other people it will be for other people it will be the same. They will have been 20 and now they'll be 53 and all that kind of thing. But yes, just the casual 30 odd years.
I might be dead by the time my team get there, Matt. So oh, what a happy thought!
Just changing tack slightly.
Out of the relegation zone, and happy days.
Very good. So predictions wise, no one was very confident. Stuart gone for a 1-0 Liverpool win. Ekitike to score, no points there. Matt had gone with a 3-1 Liverpool win. Wirtz, Ekitike and Salah and Ndoye to score for Forest. No points there. I was the most optimistic. I'd gone for a 2-2 draw. I'd gone for Salah and Isak, Anderson and Gibbs White to score. So I bagged myself a bonus spot for the goal scorer. Second game of the week took us to Oxford United as they took on Middlesbrough. I've only seen the highlights, so can't really say much about the whole game. But what I have seen of the highlights, I'll go through now. Um, the first highlight that was brought up was a bad challenge from an Oxford United player right in the middle of the park. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say the opening 10 or 15 minutes weren't the best, if that's the first bit of action that they showed. I keep watching it back. I just don't understand how, for the life of me, the ref's not giving it as a straight red. It's right in front of him. He's gone straight over the top of the ball and just like crunched through Tommy Conway's ankle. Obviously, it's lucky that it's not a leg breaker. But yeah, the ref's there. He's on it, looks at it, assesses it. Yellow card. Not ideal. Conway was able to carry on. I don't think he was taken off injured or anything like that. So each side had a chance to open the scoring, but both put the chances wide. And then it was the 28th minute when the scoring was opened. Does anyone want to guess who might have popped up with the goal for Oxford? Oh, so, yeah, that's correct. It's the guy who should have been red carded. Absolutely. Luke Harris, I believe is his name.
Not what you called him.
Well, yes, it's not what a lot of people in red were calling him that day. Ball played out to the left-hand side. It was a bit of a switching play, and it found the left-back, Curry, in a bit of space on the left-hand side. He then just sort of carried it towards the edge of the box. Must have spotted the fact that Harris was making the run and squared the ball back. So around about 12 yards out, Harris was able to get onto it first time, finished straight past the keeper. 1-0 Oxford. So that's the way it stayed until the half. So Borough went in 1-0 down at half time. They did manage to get themselves back into the contest, however, in the 54th minute. Aidan Morris was tracking back around near the halfway line and managed to win the ball back. Went on a bit of a mazy sort of dribble through the Oxford half. Found his way out to the right hand side of the box. He laid a little pass out into the path of Callum Britton, who was on the overlap on the right hand side. Callum Britton had a shot. Now, I'll give Whittaker the benefit of the doubt here because I think he has meant to do it, but Britton's shot is clearly going across the goal, but Whittaker manages to open his feet out and sort of gets a little touch on it that just deflects it past the keeper or past the keeper's near post. And it's just one of those ones that like he's just reacted so quick that I don't think the keeper's had a chance to reset himself and try and get down to save it. But good finish. I imagine there's a lot of people out there that say it's a bit of a fluky goal. Not entirely sure what's going on there. So that was on the 54th minute. Whittaker himself almost won the game in the 82nd minute when he cut in from, I think, the right-hand side and angled a shot that looked all the way like it was going straight in the top corner, but just missed the angle of post and bar right at the end. So yeah, game petered out to a 1-1 draw, sadly. So Borough dropping points. They of course went into this one still having not appointed a full-time manager, so it was still Adi Vivash who was taking control of the team for this one. Since then, Borough have employed the guy we discussed last week, Kim Hellberg, who's come from Hammarby. He has been given the job, I believe, on a 3-year deal. Let me just double check. But he wasn't in place for the upcoming game against Coventry that we will be going to discuss slightly later on. But he was in the stadium for that, but just wasn't taking charge of the team, obviously, because he'd only been appointed on the Monday afternoon. Does it say how long? It doesn't actually say how long he's been appointed for. That's annoying. But yes, Kim Hellberg, the new head coach of Middlesbrough. Predictions-wise, I'd gone for a 3-1 Borough win. didn't have Harris, didn't have Whittaker in my goal scorers. No points for me. Stuart gone for a 2-1 Borough win. Didn't have Harris or Whittaker in his goal scoring predictions. Matt had also gone for a 3-1 Borough win, but did have Whittaker down as one of his Borough goal scorers, so manages to bag himself a bonus point for the Whittaker goal. So a point for me, point for Matt so far through 2 games. Stuart yet to score. Will he score when his team took on Queen's Park Rangers on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m?
Well, the first game of the week for Hull saw a trip to one of the country's oldest and tired grounds. £39 a ticket. Absolute disgrace, by the way. On 17 minutes, Regan Slater, making his 200th appearance for the club, took the ball from Kone, drove forwards and played in Gelhardt for his 8th goal of the season, slamming the ball in at the near post. The keeper just looked like he'd shit a brick, to be honest. Did nothing. But good. Another goal for Gelhardt. But Hull were under constant pressure throughout, and that paid off for QPR on 38 minutes when Hughes blocked a shot which stopped dead in the path of none other than Elias Chair. If you hop back to last week, remember I said I wasn't picking him because he never scores when I predict him. And I didn't predict him, and now he scores. But despite the pressure, Hull managed to hold on, and it was 1-1 at half-time. Destan restored the lead for Hull 6 minutes into the second half. Giles' cross from the left was headed home for Destan's second goal in 2 games, but that lead only lasted 4 minutes. Chair turned provider with a ball from the left being scuffed by the left foot of Dunn, looping over everybody and into the net. Not convinced at all that was intended. If you watch it back, he will tell you that he definitely meant it, but not a fucking chance made. Unfortunately, Hull couldn't get back in front, and the home side made it 3-2 on 66 minutes. Similar to the first goal as well. Another block shot by Hughes, just falling into the path of Burrell to fire past Panda. It was... Part of me wants to say it's kind of unlucky, but I also think that for I know he's only a young guy, but he's an experienced centre-half, to just throw himself on the ground like he did to block the shot means that he's got no mobility if the ball stops. I don't really feel like he needed to throw himself on the ground to do it either. Both times it kind of rattled between his legs, and the touch off his second leg just killed the momentum of the ball, and basically just teed him up both times. It felt like very naive defending for me, but unfortunately, they did take the lead on 66 minutes. Ryan Giles had a point blank shot saved by the QPR keeper to end any hopes of the points coming back north. And 3-2 was the final score.
Not ideal from a supporter perspective or a podcast predictions perspective, sort of. We all got points from this, as we all had Gelhardt to score. So we've each got at least 1 point from this game. Matt had gone for a 1-1 draw. Esquiadinia to score for QPR, Gelhardt to score for Hull, so just the 1 point there. Stuart had gone for a 2-1 Hull win with Dembele, Gelhardt and Slater, so just 1 point for him. I had also gone for a 2-1 Hull win, and get this, I had Burrell, Destan and Gelhardt all to score. I'll take that. Sadly, I didn't put any sort of money on with the bookies, which is fucking irritating, as I probably could have had a little bit of cash off that. But yes, I do take 3 bonus points from that one. We'll stick with the Hull theme as we move to their second game of the week, which saw them take on Ipswich Town at the MKM Stadium. Now I can confirm you were in attendance for this. Correct.
Correct.
Not only were you in attendance for this, you also enjoyed a delicious pudding before the game.
The toffee apple crumble is back on the
Oh,
menu.
lovely.
So strap yourself in, because you'll be able to experience that for yourself in a week and a little bit's time.
Yes, just over.
So yeah, both teams coming into this one, called Tuesday night, did very much enjoy the pre-match, the sort of shindig that they'd changed. We get a light show for the weeknight games.
Oh.
It's quite good. And much to my surprise, they decided to use none other than the old Nickelback Raw music, which are from the wrestling. So that kind of set the tone for me, thinking, this is a good sign, right? It's all coming up me. And then we went and lost 2-0. And they played like shit, if I'm honest. Disappointing, because it was... they didn't get a performance at all. Start of the season, you'd have expected Ipswich to come probably and beat us anyway. It wouldn't have been one of the ones they were probably earmarking for an easy ride, but the manner of the performance was disappointing based on what we've seen so far. I just wonder if we're starting to get to that point where we're needing these injured players now back in the fold to kind of give us a few more options rather than keep rinse and repeat. Maybe teams are getting used to what we've been doing at this point. But hey, Joe Gelhardt did have an early chance. Spotted the keeper off his line, probably about 15 minutes in. Went for it. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit wide of the keeper's right-hand stick. And pretty much from that point, it was all Ipswich. Ipswich passed very, very well. Dominated the midfield. It was almost like our midfield weren't there at times. But first half, particularly for Ipswich, they didn't really do anything beyond that point. They didn't really have much meaning. I don't really remember Pandor having a save to make in the first half. In fact, actually, having said that, I don't remember the Ipswich keeper having much to save in the first half. They were bailed out by the upright, however, as on half an hour, Joel Ndala managed to smack the post from the edge of the box. Kyle Joseph had a chance as well, but dragged it wide from a really, really quick break. Again, on that change in personnel, Kyle Joseph is not the player to lead the line. I appreciate that they were probably being careful with Destan on the basis of that he's not started that many games yet this season, and he'd scored, he'd played the last 2 games, but he had scored 2 in 2. Stick him in from the start. Let him start the game. Bigger guy, more physical player against 2 massive centre-halves who we should know all about one of them in Jacob Greaves, who, by the way, has absolutely discovered the art of shithousery in his small amount of games that he got in the Premier League. And whilst receiving a warm round of applause during the team announcements at the beginning of the match, didn't exactly endear himself to the home fans when he went down holding his face, trying to con the referee into giving yellow cards left, right and centre on a couple of occasions early in the second half, and was proceeded to be booed for the remainder of the game. Ipswich did make a change at half-time. It had got to 0-0, by the way, at that point. They brought on Jack Taylor, and they definitely got sort of forward. They were the bit they were missing in the first half, the balls in the final third, sort of then were discovered for Ipswich, unfortunately, in the second half. And then midway through the second half, they decided to bring on Jaden Philogene and Chuba Akpom. Jaden Philogene's first involvement in the game was to put the ball in from the left wing. And Charlie Hughes, unchallenged, was free to absolutely head the ball clear and completely misjudged his positioning. The ball skimmed the top of his hairline and fell to the shortest player on the pitch, Marcelino Nunes, scoring to open that for Ipswich. I am pretty sure that his kit was from the children's section of their club shop. After that, Ipswich tended to go up a gear as well. Tubrak-Pom shot's been blocked. I didn't realise actually he's on loan from Ajax as well. By the way, I thought he was a permanent move, but I didn't realise he was only on loan. The Ipswich's second goal came from a corner. They had a shot, a header on target from the corner. Pando parried it, and it found its way through to Akpom in the end to tap in. I was convinced from where I was sat that Akpom was offside because he was almost sat on the goal line when it happened. But it turned out it was Ryan Giles, the man who was protesting the most about him being offside, was the man who was actually playing him on, in a shock to absolutely nobody in the end. Later on in the game, 73rd minute, Philogene managed to hit the post with a wicked shot from the left-hand side of the box, ripped right across to the opposite side, glanced off the right upright. But Hull were bad last night. It's the first really kind of sort of limp performance we've seen, I think, at home this season. On the basis of, on the last podcast we're talking about, they've already won as many games this season as they did in all of last season. If they go like they did against Ipswich, it wouldn't carry on in a great fashion. Just not a nice night, really. Just one of them. But yeah, it's gone. We move on to the next and see how we go. But yeah, 2-0 Ipswich win.
Disappointing to say the least. I always hate it when there's like when you have those games where you get two quick fire goals and it just completely kills any sort of hope you had of getting anything from the game. The worst example of that will probably be the playoff final for me because Borough found themselves 2-0 down within 15 minutes. And it's just like, well, they're not going to get back into this now, and you can just tell.
I think it was more the manner of the first goal on the basis that it was such a shock that like everybody was like, oh, it's coming in. Charlie Hughes, he's got the space. He just needs to head it clear. And then, oh, shit, that just happened. Like, it definitely knocked the wind out of him. Just the manner of it. And last season, we were kind of used to that because if they went one goal down, they'd very often go 2 goals down. This season, we've not really seen that yet in the sense of if they've gone behind by a goal, they've got a bit between their teeth and they've given it a go. Last night was not an example of the team that we've seen so far this season. And certainly not the way to mark Louis Coyle's 200th game for the club last night as well.
Very disappointing. Predictions wise, Stuart gone for a 2-2 draw. Destan, Gelhardt, Clark, and Philogene, none of which are on the score sheet, so nil point. So for Mr. Woodmansey. I'd gone for a 1-1 draw. I'd gone for Joseph to score for Hull and Akpom to score for Ipswich, so I clearly knew something was up. Matt had gone for a 2-1 Ipswich win, so does get a point for the result. Sadly, didn't pick Nunez or Akpom as his goal scorers, so just with 1 point for Matt from that game. So, as it stands from 4 games played, 3 points for Matt, 5 points for myself, just a solitary point for Mr. Woodmansey. We have got 1 game left to go through, and it is Middlesbrough versus Coventry City. But before we go through the details of that game, we will take a very short break and we'll be straight back at you with that game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And it's time to discuss the last game of the week, which unfortunately for me was Middlesbrough versus Coventry City. And for anyone who's been listening to the podcast for more than 6 minutes knows that when Middlesbrough play Coventry, bad things happen. And Sadly, this game was no different, and it was no exception to that particular rule. It could have been so different, as Borough actually opened this game very, very positively and should have probably scored within the first 5 minutes. The ball fell to Morgan Whittaker on the edge of the box, and he had a shot that was deflected wide by one of the Coventry defenders, and sadly, yes, the goal did not go in. But like I said, Borough started the stronger of the two teams, and it was actually a goal against the run of play that opened the scoring on 10 minutes. And oh my word, what a finish it was! Thorpe did quite well to win the ball back on the edge of his own box, and then just started running and just cut a bit of a swath through the Borough team. Got to just outside the box, laid a pass into Ellis Sims's path and to just walk onto, and at first glance it looked as if he just ballooned his shot over the bar, but he very much had not. He absolutely picked out the top corner beautifully. He sort of shaped it and everything. Like all of those goals that, like, you don't want to. Obviously, you're pissed off because your team's conceded, but you have to stand there and just go, "Fucking hell, that's some strike." That one of the best finishes I've seen all season so far. Yes, 1-0 Coventry, 10 minutes gone. 4 minutes later, it was 2. Got a corner from the right hand side that Matt Grimes took. Tommy Conway managed to head it out of danger, or so we thought at the time. But he just basically headed it straight back into the path of Grimes, who rather than taking a touch and then trying to sort of loft the ball back in, he sort of like volleyed it first time, put a bit of venom on it, and got it fizzing back into the box, where it found the head of Mark. Was it Mark Kitchen? No, Mark Kitchen plays for York. I don't have his first name. Kitchen, who found himself not unmarked, but he was the first person to get his head to it in the 6-yard box. One of those ones there, the pace is already on the delivery, so all they said was just direct it. Went straight past Bryn, no chance for the keeper. 2-0 to Coventry, all Coventry. They probably should have scored a third a little bit after this, but when Ellis Sims was breaking through, but a very, very well timed tackle by Luke Ayling kept it at 2-0. They did manage to get themselves back into the contest just after the half-hour mark, 32 minutes, but it was Whittaker again for the second game in a row, notching. There was a corner from the left-hand side by Hayden Hackney. He played a little 1-2 with Aidan Morris, which gave him the chance to swing a ball to the back post. Headed out by the Coventry defenders, but Alan Brown managed to just get his foot on it to keep it alive, and his cross in was flicked on by Alfie Jones, who was still up from the corner. And it was another one where Whittaker's taken it first time. Looks like he sliced across it. Sky Sports will put it down as a miss it. I don't think it is. I think he's spotted where the keeper is, and he's just tried to get it as close to the near post as he can. And so I think it's a good finish, to be fair. He's cut across the ball and taking the spin out of it, take it away from the keeper, and he's managed to sneak it in the near post to make it 1-2. Coventry should have made it 3-1 just before half time, across into the box where Eccles managed to find himself on the end of it, but his header was wide of the post, but he should have at least worked to the keeper to make it 3-1. Borough found themselves obviously 2-1 going into half time. Was almost 2-2 straight after the start of the second half. Whittaker again was the creator in chief. He seemed to be at the heart of most good stuff that was happening last night. He was cutting in from the right hand side, angled his effort that looked all the way like it was going straight in the top corner, but Rushworth managed to fling himself to his right to claw it out of the top corner. But they did get themselves back on level terms on the 49th minute when they had a corner from the left hand side. Bobby Thomas was on the 6-yard box, took his eye off the ball, tried to clear it, but just put it straight into his own net. So, yeah, happy days. 2-2. And at that point, it was all Borough, really. They were the ones setting the tempo, pushing to try and get themselves further into the game to get the winner. Tommy Conway should have scored the goal and make it 3-2, but he managed to put the ball over the top from 6 yards out. Don't really know how he's done it. He's obviously taken his eye off the ball, but still, you've got to be bundling it over from 6 yards out. But and sadly, Borough were made to pay on the 85th minute as Kitching again found himself in the right place at the right time to bundle the ball home. It was a Grimes ball from the left-hand side, initially cleared. It fell to Thomas, whose shot was initially cleared by Sam Silvera, straight back into Thomas's path. He had another shot on target. Brim was able to save it, but he was just able to push it straight onto the feet of Kitchen, who bundled it home to make it 3-2. And Coventry killed the game a minute later, where De Silva ball clipped in from the left-hand side, found Sims at the back post, not unmarked, but about a foot taller than any other person on the pitch. So he could head home rather easily to make it 4-2 to Coventry and make me never, ever want to see them ever again. As that's 6 wins on the spin now that Coventry have put on against the Borough. So yeah, they can fuck all the way off to the Premier League and stay there.
There's a Teesside band called Benefits, and they're a kind of industrial electro kind of band, and they put on their Instagram page, "We had a lovely gig together, Coventry. I thought we were friends. After last night, not so much."
Oh God! Honestly, I think I even said it last week. I had absolutely no confidence going into it. Like it could be. They could have changed the manager. They could have changed every single player in the first team. They'd still manage to get a win. I even said it as a joke in a Borough sort of group chat that I've got going on that the game could finish 0-0 and there'd still be a way that it would just go down as a Coventry win. There's some way it would just go in the record books that Coventry won the game. That is reflected in the predictions, as we all predicted a Coventry win. We actually all predicted a 2-1 Coventry win. Sadly, none of us predicted Whittaker or a Thomas own goal for the Borough goal. And neither one of us picked Sims or Kitchen to score. So just the 1 point for the result, which means that at the end of the week, after 5 games, Stu finds himself on 2 points, Matt 4 points, but winning the week with 6 points from 5 games was myself. So let's give myself a little well-earned pat on the back there.
I suppose picking 3 goals in one game gives you a nice little boost up the rankings, doesn't it?
I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever done, let's be honest. So, week 13 done and dusted. Week 14 brings 5 games with it, 3 of which are played by Nottingham Forest. Wow. 3 games in 6 days. They are going to be knackered. To be fair, they're going to be knackered anyway, because it sounds like old Daichi boy's got them running all the time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Plowing their puddings out.
I think, what was it? Gibbs White said, running, running and running.
Nice. But he likes to run, so he's fine. So, the first game of week 14 sees Nottingham Forest taking on Malmö FF, and this is a repeat of the 79?
Yeah, first the
European Cup final.
European Cup, yeah.
Slightly less important stakes. Obviously, it's not in the Champions League or the European Cup, as was. It's in the Europa League, but nevertheless, it still is an important fixture. It is Mr. Mo's team. He will give his prediction last. I'll open us up here. I've gone for a straightforward 2-0 Forest win, and I've gone for Igor Jesus to get both. Stu?
I've gone for a 2-1 win. I've got Anderson and Doy. And then for Malmo, I can't even read my own writing here.
Look.
Busalacic, or something like that.
Bless you. Right, let me have a look. Oh my word. Malmo have Pontus Jansson playing for them.
Yeah, but nobody's picking that prick.
Well, you say that. Busalacic. Is that who you went for?
Yep. Paul just momentarily turned into Brian Madonde for a second at the start of that one.
Lad. It's all right because the pigeon is no longer in my bank account. So it's fine. Matt, how do you see it going? Was this one of the games you were trying to get tickets for?
Yeah, I just can't. I just can't get the time off work to go. Yeah, I would love to have gone. There are tickets. I think there are tickets available. I think we've discussed this before. The pricing is absolutely horrific. Like, yeah, it's disgusting. Would be the kind of thing. You know, behind the goal is £55. On the side, you're looking at £75. Like, it's disgusting, really. But yeah, I've gone for a 1-0 Forest win. Just for kind of old time's sake, kind of just be a nice kind of like thing. They've done a load of nice things. Nice things, money making things. So I think I've shared with you guys they've made drill tops this year that I quite like. They've made 79 limited edition ones with like so it's got an outline of Trevor Francis kind of scoring the goal, and on the back it's got it's quite nice. But there were 79 of those available today at the club shop. So yeah, shockingly I didn't get one. But they were nice. So I've gone 1-0. I would have picked Hutchinson, being as he's our most expensive player, to kind of reflect the Trevor Francis thing, but he's not in the squad. So I've gone with McAtee.
Very nice. We move to our second game of the week, and it sees Stoke City taking on Hull City. This is a 12:30 Sky Sports game, I believe.
It is dinner time kick-off.
Will attendance?
No, I'm hoping that I might get to watch it though.
Well, you don't have to slum it on Sky Sports Plus because it's a Sky Sports football game.
They might be regretting that choice after
main channel.
Night. However,
Stoke
got a 3-0 win last night, didn't they? So
yeah, they were back up to second. They've ditched Borough down to third place. The robbing bastards.
I think
obviously,
I can
it's
speak for everybody when I say ain't nobody got time for that.
No. Although I don't mind Mark Robbins. I think he's quite a good manager. But you know,
sit on the fence, Matt.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. His character assassinated by Mr. Matthew Moore. It's obviously Hull is Stu's team. Hull is Stu's team. Yeah, that is right. It didn't sound right in my head. That
is it because you pronounced it a bit like Springsteen for a second?
Yeah, probably. I can't tell. It's been a long day. So Stoke versus Hull. It's Stu's team. He will go last. Matt, what have you got down for Stoke versus Hull?
I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I'll try and tighten it up a little bit, hopefully. Bosnick and Gelhardt.
Well, I didn't have to check how to spell Bosnick because I too have picked him to score. But sadly, I picked him to score in a 2-1 Stoke win. I've gone for Bosnick and everyone's favourite, the Manhoof. And I too have gone for Gelhardt to score for Hull. Stu?
I've gone for a 1-1 draw as well, more out of hope than anything else. I've got Thomas to score for Stoke, so you'll be happy about that one.
How'd you spell that?
It's just standard. There's no like silent Z in it anywhere or anything like that.
You're a liar. You're a filthy liar.
And then for Hull, purely because he was shit, like properly shit last night, and I slagged him off. He'll clearly go and score at the weekend, so I've gone for Joseph.
He's
Or
returned.
if he does score, I would be very surprised.
Our third game of the week sees my lot, Middlesbrough, versus them lot, the Rams of Derby County. Now, obviously, this will be Kim Hellberg's first full match in charge. Like I said, he was in position as the manager against Coventry, but he wasn't taking charge of the first team, so he was only watching from the stands. Obviously, it's my team, so I will give my prediction last. But let's go to Stu for his prediction for Borough versus Derby.
I've gone for a 1-0 home win.
Okay.
McGree to score.
Lovely. Matt?
I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Boo!
I know. I've gone Whittaker for Middlesbrough. And Brereton Diaz for Derby.
Right, just to show that I'm not biased.
Good lad.
He's learned.
Yes, don't worry, Ben from Stoke. Your secret's safe with me, lad. I've gone optimistically for a 2-1 Borough win. They'll be reeling from their first home loss of the season. In the league, they did get tonked 5-0 by Donny in the first round of the Carabao Cup. And I would imagine that the manager will want to set down a bit of a marker. Although, now that I come to think about it, I believe the only manager that's won his first game in charge within the last like 30 years was Rob Edwards. So this might be a bit of wishful thinking by me.
Motherfucker.
So I've got Whittaker myself, and I've also gone for Sonchi Hansen to score for Bury. He came on against Cov and looked lively. So I'd be surprised if he gets a few more minutes under the new gaffer. And then I've gone with Morris to score for Derby because he's a fucking shit out, isn't he? So.
Oh! You might want to hold that thought because we was chatting last night at the football, and there's potential that Morris might have done his ACL and be out for the season. Couldn't have happened to a nicer shitbag. Would be
right. In that case, yeah, I will take that off. I mean, I'm clearly not going to be going for Ben from Stoke to score. So let me have a look. Let me have a look in the team. So was he playing last night then? He wasn't playing last night. Ooh. I'll go for Matt Clark. He used to play for the Borough. I'd forgotten my own rule. He, of course, will score one, and it will be an absolute rasper from like 60 yards, or he'll run the entire length of the pitch and score. Our fourth game of the week takes us to Sunday and Sky Sports cricket, apparently, where Nottingham Forest will be taking on Brighton and Hove Albion. Does seem a bit harsh that for their second game in 4 days, they have to play two teams. God, that's such a good joke. You can hear because all of the podcast is pissing themselves laughing. It's Matt's team. He will give his prediction at last. I've gone for a 1-1 draw here. I've gone for Anderson and Welbeck as my goal scorers. Stu?
I've also gone for a draw, but I have gone for a Desmond. I have gone for Jesus and Undoy. I'll keep picking Undoy until the fucker scores. And then I've gone for Brighton. I've gone for Welbeck and Rutter. Filthy Leeds.
Yes. Obviously, he's one of those guys who, even though his name is Jorginho Rutter, he has his first name on the back of his shirt. Not a clue why. Strange. How do you see this one playing out, Matt?
Obviously, we gave him an absolute thumping last season at home.
I'd forgotten about that.
But I can't imagine that'll happen again. They seem to be in decent form. So I've gone for Desmond too. I've gone for a 2. And I've gone for Jesus to finally score in the in the Premier League, and Hutchinson to get one. I've also gone for Welbeck and Minter for their other one.
It is a real shame that he never stayed at Newcastle, isn't it? Because he's just sort of like set up for that accent, isn't he? Oh, Minter.
The good thing about it, it's like a real good look what you could have had, kind of off.
Honestly, from what I understand, some of their fans were doing their absolute nut when he went. They were not happy that he was sold at all.
I think at the time,
much in a similar vein to Anderson.
Well, the problem was when Anderson went, they were kind of not bothered. I think it was kind of like, I think they thought they'd kind of pulled their pants down for 35 million. But obviously, I think, they definitely were going mad about him being sold, because I think, they generally thought that he was the best. Is obviously now, since they've sold him, they then spent 50 million on Elanga, who can't get a game at the moment.
You gotta love those. You gotta love those transfers where like they just absolutely rinse a team, and he turns out to be shit. How is Alexander Isak doing at Liverpool? He just did. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there. So yes, we have one final game to finish us off with, and it is Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Nottingham Forest. This will be Forest's third game in 6 days, as we've covered. Dare I suggest there might be changes afoot in at least one of, if not a lot of these games.
Definitely tomorrow night, I think there'll be a lot of changes. The rest of it, I don't know.
So yes, it is obviously it's still Forest, so it's still Matt's team, so he will give his prediction last. Let's go to Stu first for Wolves versus Forest.
Well, obviously, Wolves have got that new manager bounce. Straight off the rim and into the bin. That bounce seems to be. So I've gone for Wolves 0, Forest 2. And again, because there'll be changes and I think it'll be a little bit more of a physical game, I have gone for Yates to score and Hudson-Odoi.
Legitimately forgot that Hudson-Odoi was even at Forest. I'd forgotten of him, mate. Honestly. This is insane. I too have gone for a Forest win, but I've gone for 3-1. I've gone for Strand Larson to score for Wolves. Now, I know that Mr. Moore said that he's not playing tomorrow, but I have gone for Gibbs White to score in this one because old boy rule. I too have gone for Yates to score for some insane reason.
He did score last season.
Fair enough. And I've got a sneaky feeling for Milinkovic after Murillo scored at the weekend. So I've gone for Milinkovic to get the third. So that just leaves us with yourself to close us out for the week.
Worryingly, I've also gone for a Forest win.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone, is it Munetzi?
Yeah.
And then I've gone Anderson and Ndoye. I think hopefully this is where the slightly deeper squad might come in. The place where we'll be most stretched is defence, because we really don't have an abundance of defenders. But the rest of the pitch, we have 2 or 3 strikers. We've got multiple midfielders, so there'll be changes. But yeah, I think Anderson and Ndoye.
Lovely stuff. That is that brings us to the end, ladies and gentlemen. Unless you boys have got anything you'd like to bring up at this point.
No.
Awesome stuff. Well, as always, thank you to these 2 gents for joining me to go through the details of their teams. Join us again next week, where we'll go through those predictions, and we'll look forward to the week ahead, one of which will be the first podcast derby of the season. Ooh, it'll be tasty. And 2/3 of the podcast will indeed be in attendance for that game. So, could get tasty, could get spicy. We will discuss that all next week. Obviously, if you're new around here, thank you for listening. We've got plenty of other shows available on the network. There's a monthly wrestling podcast. If you're into the wrestling, there's a weekly NFL podcast whilst the season's ongoing. There's the Straight to the Apex, the Formula One podcast, as that's coming to the end of the season. And of course, Mr. Cook likes to empty out his troubles from his old kit bag every week on the Darkest Timeline podcast. All well worth a listen. Yes, but that's it for us. We will see you next week. It's tatty bye from us.
So there you go. What do you think of that? Another one done, another one gone. Big thank you for watching, big thank you for listening, big thank you for being here. If you want to be a bigger part of things, you want to join the crew, as they say out there in the world, like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave reviews where you can leave reviews. Check out the website. If you have any reason to get in touch, you can drop in on the social media links that are there, or click the email button and drop us a line. That is it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to these grumpy old men talk about football. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share and subscribe.